let's go ahead and talk about the big trailer drop that happened today.
Come on, darling.
You know, my segue would have been, boy, it's cold in here. It's so chilly in here. There's a draft in here. You know, nothing keeps you warm like shirts from dtmerch.com. But I didn't use it.
You didn't?
I didn't use it because I was waiting on you guys to get in here. And I said, you know, I'm just going to let it go.
Yeah, save it for later. Put it in your pocket.
Put it in my pocket right there. You know, I'll save it for later. But you know, it really does warm you up. You know, look, they ain't even got no sleeves, but it warms you up like nothing else. It warms your soul to know that you have the toasted goodness on your body with the classic black teeth white logo. Ooh. Also, our Heather line has been known to warm the hearts of even the most cold-hearted people out there. Put a hat on that cold head. Jerseys for you. Hey, pour yourself a nice warm cup of cocoa with that coffee cup right there. For a long time, Bert, they've been trying to bust these ghosts. They've been trying to bust these ghosts the way they used to. That one time when busting felt so good. But busting ain't been so good, ain't felt so good since 1984. You know, we've had so many different versions of the Ghostbusters. Some of them have been successful. Most of them have not. As far as the big screen goes, the big cinematic versions. You know, you've had the TV shows that the kids were raised on. That was fine. That went without a hitch. Kids loved the Ghostbusters on them, cartoon Ghostbusters, the real Ghostbusters, who happen to be animated on TV. But the son of the director of the original Ghostbusters said, you know, y'all been doing this wrong the whole time. You know, let me come in. You know, it's in my blood.
He's like, I know my dad.
Yeah, I'm talking about your boy over here, and let me see if I can find him. Your boy Jason Reitman. He said, it's in my blood. It's my birthright to put busting ghosts back on track. Some people are very excited. They're like, oh my God, now this is what I'm talking about. This is what you couldn't do this in the first place? And some people saying, you know what, I'm glad they didn't do this in the first place. And it's still wrong. Still ain't got it right. As far as I'm concerned, where do we fall in on this? Well, I tell you what, let's go ahead and take a look at the trailer for Ghostbusters Afterlife.
I believe that everything happens for a reason.
I will. I don't want to wait too long. Oz, do you mind if I bring our resident Ghostbusters expert in? Do you mind if I bring in Bert Belasco?
Please bring him in, please. I'm sure he's somewhere chomping at the bit ready to talk about this thing.
I'm sure he is too. Let me go ahead and bring Bert in. Oh my God, who's that pretty man right there?
Hey, it's Oz.
I'm sorry. Look at my two pretty young men right here.
Right?
My handsome young man right here, side by side. I want to bring you in, man, because I want to talk about this trailer, and I want to get your opinion right from the beginning. Now, I'm going to throw it to you guys, especially you, Bert, since you are, like I said, you're the specialist here, man. You're the one that loves Ghostbusters more than anybody here. Bert actually, one of the reasons why he wanted to be an actor is because he wanted to be in Ghostbusters 3. Now, those dreams were crushed as of today. but you know, if this is successful, who knows, Bert, you might be able to be in the next franchise or series that comes after this.
Yeah.
Let me start out positive with this before I pass it on to you, Bert, because I know you're going to be, like I said, my word means nothing. I'm just going to give you my opinion, but you're going to be the one that tells it like it is. Even Oz might know more about this than I do. Now, I do give this credit for going in and doing something completely different. I'm so happy to see them doing something completely different with this, because as far as I'm concerned, they've already made that original movie. They've made that movie twice already. Mm-hmm. And still throughout that time, they were not able to capture the great concept in the magic that the original cast had in the first Ghostbusters 1984.
You're looking
looking at a disaster of biblical proportion.
Real wrath of God type stuff.
Exactly.
Fire and brimstone coming down from the sky, seas and rivers boiling.
Human sacrifice, dogs and cats living together.
You know, I don't even know if they knew they were making a movie about ghosts half the time. They were just sitting around cracking jokes, having fun, riffing off each other and being able to ad-lib, improvise because, first of all, they all had great chemistry. Most of them had a past already working together. And they just had fun with each other doing this movie, man. It was something about capturing that movie at the moment that I don't know if you can capture it again. And when I say you can't capture it again, even the original cast, the one that had all the magic in the first film, the ones that made that movie happen, surely they can recreate all that again.
But when the slime hits the wall,
Who are you gonna call?
Get me the Ghostbusters.
You got it!
Well, back in 1989, the audiences quickly said, no. That was really a one-time thing. So I like with this one, they just pretty much saying, you know what? You look at this, and they're pretty much saying, you know what? Laughs. We're going for a heartwarming family drama. And before I pass it on, I'm going to say that these days, that could be okay if you start pulling these things from the past, movies from generations ago, or franchises and series that have had bad movies that left really bad taste in the public's mouths. Those things can often lead to the failure, even if the critics like it. We saw that with Terminator Genesis recently. No matter how good Terminator Dark Fate was, that still was repeating the same formula that all these other Terminator movies were, except for Salvation. I told y'all, nobody listened to me. But for the most part, it was the same movie over and over again. So that movie bombed. So I'm glad to see them actually doing something completely different. I think that is probably a key. If they have any success with this, that will be the key to their success. That's where I pass it on to you guys. How you feeling about the new direction that this is taking?
I agree with a lot of stuff you said, Corey. I consider myself a fan, not an uber super fan, but I do enjoy it. I even like Ghostbusters 2. I got them both on Blu-ray. When the original came out in '84, had the crazy practical effects, and the crazy CG, which, probably look crappy now. But even if you watch that original movie now, it still holds up today, like you said, because of the chemistry, the original cast, the way they portrayed their characters and all that. Even the characters, the way they introduced them, with Bill Murray being an asshole. You loved him the most because the way they were able to ad-lib, the way they were able to jive with each other. They caught lightning in a bottle with that. There was the right script. It was the right actors. It was the right time it came out. It all lined up. The movie had so much heart. So that's why in 2016, when that one came out, it seemed very forced. They tried to create something that they couldn't really, you can't, recreate perfection like that, and the way they did that. And they tried to put their spin on it, and the shit just spun out of control. They heavy-handedly try to put some sort of statement in there, and instead of trying to create their own type of movie or situation, they grabbed Ghostbusters and tried to make their statement with that, and that just totally up. Now, with all that said, we're talking about a trailer, right? Trailer, just about the trailer. And from this trailer, it's not giving me, it's so way different. Again, it's like, why call it Ghostbusters? But again, from this trailer, it's giving me that, I don't want to say it, but I got to. It's giving me that goddamn Attack of the Clones prequel.
Oh,
thing.
Really?
Yeah, that one, see, they're driving around in the ecto car, and, oh, what does this do? Oh, it's a detector suit. Oh, my gosh, what's that? Let me shoot this. Oh, what's that? I don't have two bad things to say about it. Again, it's the trailer, and with all that being said, what I said, I am going to see this. I'm ready to see this. I want to see what they do with it. It looks cool. But just looking at the trailer, it's giving me that vibe. I'm hoping the second trailer will try to spin a different narrative because it's coming off as, something really serious.
I was gonna say, it feels like since Stranger Things got so popular, and this is like let's go the same route, do this teenager stuff, and let's use the same exact guy from the show. And but I kind of like the idea because since I'm not a big fan of it, or I'm more flexible. I like the idea of instead of grown men running after ghosts, Teenagers trying to do.
Well, that's a grown man's job. You know, come on. That's a very dangerous job. That's not for kids to do. That's almost like going against child labor laws or something.
So I've seen this twice. Once this morning, and then now, and I just caught something now with it, which was really weird. Which was first off, the way the proton packs looked were weird. And if you see when she's in the jumper cape. So here we go, Corey. So this is the original one.
Okay,
This is what the original one looks like. Right.
Okay.
It actually works.
Damn. Yeah, you know ain't no ghosts hurting people in LA right now.
It works and all that good stuff. So my thing I don't get though is when she has it, it doesn't look anything like this. And that's the original one right there. And when she's in the jumper car, there's like a different one, which is interesting, which I guess we'll find out when we watch it. Like, I want to know when Egon became Batman.
We said that earlier today. Like, when did this shit turn to?
You said that. You said that, and I caught that the first time. I didn't know the word for it. I'm like, when did he become? I thought he was like James.
Oh, was it us that said that? Yeah. This shit looks like a little bit of Stranger Things meets Batman Begins.
Right. There's something that you said, Oz, which is so prevalent to the whole thing. It's magic. You can't redo Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
It's why I stopped trying to pursue Ghostbusters, because I realized, wait, I'm inspired by something that can't be done again. This doesn't feel anything like Ghostbusters to me. And I still find it funny how we're in 2019 and some of the special effects in the trailer didn't look as good as it did in 84. And they couldn't get it right in 89 or 2016. But 84 was such a, and Corey, you talk about this all the time, practical effects versus CGI. And in the first one, it was all like every stream and electronic thing was hand drawn and pasted and all this stuff. And then by 89, they tried doing it was the first time they did CGI, and you could see the proton stream wouldn't even stay on the gun right because we haven't gotten the technology down yet.
Yeah.
Right.
You're hitting on a point right here where you say you can't recreate the same magic. You can't do what they did before. You hit on a point here. Just because you do something different doesn't mean that you're doing something different. And that's the thing that I'm getting from this. I'm looking at this because that's exactly what they did. You guys already brought this up. Look, last time when they tried to remake Ghostbusters, it didn't work out so well because they tried a trend. They were following the whole woman empowerment thing that's rising up in Hollywood. Now that's something that is very noble. I agree with it, but in 2016 when they did it for Ghostbusters, that shit felt forced.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Oh. Did you want to?
Sorry. I'll let you.
Next time. Okay.
Funny women. The cast is great. They're all talented, but just because you missed the point of Ghostbusters by trying to put in a trend. You felt it. It didn't work. Now they're doing it again. And as I said, we learned from that trend before that didn't work. So now and you already brought this up. Now they're following a trend, which is the Stranger Things trend that's going on right now. Putting kids against fantastical or horror elements influenced by nostalgia for what we see today is the 80s, which they even put in the, and when I say it was probably influenced by the 80s, and when you have kids doing this, the big influence was the Spielberg era with things like The Goonies.
Discover what they uncover.
Or we see it today where they just take the straight adaptations from it, which Stephen King had that moment too. He loved to put kids up against horror all the time, and we see that going on with things like It. And even to the point where, as Mia said, we even got the same goddamn kids from Stranger Things. Got this kid, Finn Wolfhard, who's gonna be in porn with that name one day. That's his destiny right there. That's just what's gonna happen. But what they're doing here is they're following a trend. And I wouldn't mind it if it didn't seem like it was following a trend just because they're putting kids in it, because, it kind of makes sense that they're making this more kids friendly. Because so many kids grew up with the cartoon from back in the day. They had a cartoon with that old race trader Slimer in there.
Damn, trapping his people.
Yeah, then putting his people in slavery.
Yeah. This is what we used to watch.
Uncle Ruckus.
Yeah, house Negro ghost over here. But to do it in the Stranger Things sense, that's that seems that like they're just trying to do this now because the trend is something that's pretty big, and plus kids now for something like this might be a little more of a sell. I'm looking at this and I'm thinking, you even seen the trailer, just to point out something real quick. You even seen the trailer where they have, you can see them in the trailer chasing Slimer. And I wonder if Slimer is going to be like, their sidekick in the movie because, well, they'll be able to sell more Slimer toys. He'll be the equivalent of something like Baby Yoda. Something about this is just saying, man, we're looking at a marketing trend and we're looking at a demographic that we can make money off of instead of saying, wow, you know what? This is a real, authentic, God-honest, different take on Ghostbusters because we feel really inspired by that take. But then again, that's just me. I don't want to come down and put this movie too hard because I do appreciate the different direction that it's taken.
If you're just trying to sell a property, you could do that all day. I'm going to put Star Wars up there. They're on movie number 9, and they still can't capture what they did in Star Wars.
Yeah, that is true.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's the problem when you have something that's so original.
Bingo.
That's something that nobody has done before. After you've done it, where do you go from there, right? Your mind starts to go different places, and at that point, you start retreading what you've done already.
Yeah.
And, that's what happens with a lot of these sequels. So sometimes it's okay to do one movie. It's okay.
Well, you know what? You make a good point, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull up some reasons why this might work because I'm being very negative right now. There's some things here that I think could probably work when you consider what they're trying to do. Now, this is not something where they're forgetting their original fans. This is not something where they're totally starting over and trying to, it's not a reboot or a remake or a reimagining. We are going to have the old crew return here. At least that's what's been said out there. In what way they're coming back, I don't know. I don't know if it's going to regain the same tone of the first movie when they bring these guys back. And we're talking about all of them. We're talking about, it's been rumored that Bill Murray, Dan Aykroyd, and Ernie Hudson are going to be back. Of course, Harold Ramis is gone, but unless they want to maybe make him a CG ghost or something, I don't know if that'd be offensive or not. Maybe they could do that. But, he probably appreciate that. He's, it's his property too. But I think that having them come back in is something that could work very well. I like that they paid a lot of attention to detail. Being that Harold Ramis is gone, they say that these are his grandkids here. And I like that they made his granddaughter, if that's rumored to be true, made her look just like him. Something that you can tell that they are truly related. I do like that they're tying things together where you are looking at the old shack that they had in the film. That's his big he's holding a big secret in there for everybody to find. But there's other small things in here that I like that they're paying attention to detail for the fans. I've heard people talking today about 55 West Street, who was made by a big architect, a crazy architect named Ivo Shandor. Ivo Shandor. Now if you look here, they got the Shandor Mines, or the Shandor Mining Company. So, there's certain things here, even though it's taking a different tone, there are certain things that they're doing to retie it back to the original so that the fans could actually still have something to latch on to, which might be the secret here to success.
Yeah.
Create something completely different, a different genre, but also retain some of the, I hate when this is used, but I don't know what else to say. Retain some of the DNA from the original so that it will still capture what made that one work. They'll test this out, and if it works, they could create a universe where you have this new generation of Ghostbusters coming up. But maybe we get one. If this could rejuvenate the Ghostbusting careers of these guys right here, and maybe you could get them back as a spinoff. So you got one strictly for the new generation and one for the fans right here, and you get double the Ghostbusters for your money, double the Ghostbusting goodness. I don't know what do you think?
For me, this looks like that movie's like you get one more shot, kid. You got the name. You're gonna give you some money.
Yeah.
If this works, cool. If not, that's it.
Yeah.
It's gonna go back in the vault for a couple years, man.
Yeah. Do you think that this could be a universe, Bert?
I don't know, man. I don't know. It kind of, I mean, this, for me, this screamed Force Awakens to me. Like we're starting this whole new thing, and we're gonna go in this new direction.
Paul Rudd is in the movie as a high school teacher. You know, he knows some secrets about what happened back in the day before everybody started thinking that this was a hoax, you know, because it's been so long, and I guess we haven't had any real Ghostbusting events that happened. But they had a concept years ago where they said, you know what? The world is going to be full of Ghostbusting franchises. All these people are going to spin off, and you have the original Ghostbusters who are legends, but you got these new comedians who come in and be in the new Ghostbusters. Paul Rudd, Seth Rogen, and at that point, you don't even have to get a whole woman team. You could mix it up. You could have said, you could have got Maya Rudolph. You could have got Kristen Wiig mixed up with Paul Rudd, Seth Rogen, and a few other people who, you know, who they were talking about back in the day. And business is bad for Ghostbusting. It's not really happening that much anymore. These people don't know what to do. And then at the end of the movie, and this is what really gets cool, they could have done some Avengers shit before Avengers even did it. You had this idea, man. All the franchises get together to fight this big threat where they didn't have work before, and all of a sudden it's like Ghostbusters assemble at the end, and you get this big fucking epic climax, but they fucking ruined it because they wanted to go with all vaginas in 2016 just for a goddamn trend. They should have done that shit back in the day, and you had a great idea for it. As I said, you know, I haven't seen it, and I think it looks promising that they're taking a different direction and bringing in some of the old elements. It could be something that this series needed, you know, because nothing was working before. So, shit, I'm going to give anything a chance. Last words right here.
Yeah, oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Mia.
Go ahead. I was just going to say, gotta watch it to have a certain decision. This is just a trailer, so.
And the chat is saying Bill Murray was the reason the shit took too long in the first place because he was too busy partying and walking into people's houses and weddings and shit, trying to, you know,
No. I mean, seriously, he's the reason why we don't have. Because if we would have had it Dan Aykroyd's way, we would have, and I'm not lying, we would have 7 right now.
You know, I'm actually looking forward to the next trailer to see if he'll do a little something different and show me a little something different. Definitely there. Maybe not. Probably the opening weekend I'll be there. But I'm definitely going to go see this thing.
But this looks exactly like what you said, Mia. It looks like Stranger Things. It looks like a friendly version. I mean, I think if you would have put proton packs on the kids from It, you would have had a great Ghostbusters movie right there.
Right. You know? Right. You're right about
that. Actually, that's a great point, man. I'm just really, if you want my honest opinion, I'm just happy that we're getting the Ghostbusters back together before they all turn into ghosts. You know, they up there, man. Right? Yeah. So I'm happy. I'm just happy to kind of get that back in there. I mean, that if I have to say anything positive in closing, so I'm happy about that.